All right, today we're going to break down a recent report from URBTnews.com. It's all about the pro-life organization 40 Days for Life and something they're calling a huge victory. So we're going to unpack exactly what happened, get to know this group, and take a look at their strategy, all based on what's in this article.
A huge victory. That's a pretty big statement, right? Well, those are the exact words of Shawn Carney, the president of 40 Days for Life, describing a recent event. So what's he talking about? According to the report, he's referring to the shutdown of multiple Planned Parenthood facilities. And yeah, you can bet the organization is framing this as a major milestone.
Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at that huge victory. Then, we'll get into who 40 Days for Life actually is. After that, we'll break down their strategy of activism. And finally, we'll see what the report suggests is next for the movement. Let's get into it.
All right, first up, let's dig into this claim of a huge victory. What exactly happened here?
So the URBTnews.com report lays it all out. We're talking about the shutdown of several Planned Parenthood facilities. And the key thing here is that it's being described as anything but a coincidence. Nope, this was a coordinated effort. And the article credits two main groups working together: the big national campaign 40 Days for Life and their local partner Lake County Right to Life. This idea of a coordinated effort, it naturally brings up a pretty big question, right? Who is 40 Days for Life anyway?
Let's find out.
Well, according to the article, 40 Days for Life is a nationwide campaign. It's really built around two main things: prayer vigils and peaceful protests. And these aren't random. They're specifically organized to take place right outside Planned Parenthood facilities. And their stated goal? It's pretty direct: to end abortion.
And get this isn't some new group that just popped up. The article's FAQ section points out that they've been active for nearly 20 years. That's a long time. And that longevity, it's a really key part of who they are. It tells you their whole strategy is built around being in it for the long haul.
And that idea of being in it for the long haul, that brings us perfectly to their strategy. So we know who they are, but how do they actually operate? Let's take a look.
Okay, so the report really breaks their methods down into three core tactics. It all starts with focused prayer. From there, it moves into sustained vigils. And that word sustained is key, right? It implies they're there consistently, a long-term physical presence. And finally, peaceful protests. So you can see it's a strategy that's all about persistence, being visible, but in what they describe as a non-confrontational way. But it's not just about what they do on their own. The report points to another piece of the puzzle, something that's absolutely crucial to how they operate, and that's collaboration. So here's how that collaborative dynamic works. Think of 40 Days for Life as the big national umbrella. They're the ones mobilizing volunteers and setting up the overall framework. But then you have groups like Lake County Right to Life. They're the local partners, the boots on the ground, really driving the day-to-day participation and getting the community involved. It's a model of a national structure empowering local action. So where is all of this headed? For our last section, let's check out what the report has to say about the future of this movement. Now, the report suggests the impact here is bigger than just facility closures. It talks about how this has created a really strong network of activists. A community that gives support, shares resources, and encourages each other. And for the movement, it's held up as an example of what they see as the power of sustained peaceful activism. And what about what's next? Well, the report is pretty direct on this. This quote from the source material says it all. The organization plans to maintain its presence in communities across the country. I mean, that's about as clear as it gets. It signals that their strategy is definitely not slowing down.
Right. And the report concludes that this huge victory isn't seen as the finish line. Not at all. It's actually being framed as a catalyst, as fuel for the fire. This success is expected to energize their base and power future campaigns all over the country.
So as we wrap up our look at this URB2news.com report, it kind of leaves us with a broader question to consider. If you step back from this specific issue, what does a story like this really reveal about the power of long-term, focused, and collaborative activism in shaping the landscape of modern social movements? It's definitely something to think about.